So when I did the video about the shooting that I released yesterday, my goal was to avoid the overall topic of whether or not it was a good shoot, because I was trying to communicate to people how important it is that we collectively stay aligned. I might not have done a great job of that, whatever. But apparently I can't continue to talk about this without weighing in. So I'll do that on this video. And then we're going to talk about what is actually going on, because if you get through this video and do not recognize that we are all on the same side in a nearly, I don't even know, the most perilous way that I could possibly try to communicate this to people, I will have failed to get my point across. Apparently, maybe like I did yesterday, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm a weirdo. There were like, 60,000 people watch a video, and then I see like the same comment from like 10, and I'm like, everybody missed the point. You're like, everybody missed the point. It's like, yes. It's like, everybody missed the point. Yes. Do you know what it's like to be in a stadium full of 60,000 people? I do. And if 10 of them missed the point, that means everyone. It's like, no, when you put it like that, it's probably fair. But I just want to be very clear on the front side. Okay. I am going to talk about the shoot here, and I'm going to talk about what's going on around it, especially around, this new thing. Oh yeah. It's illegal to carry a firearm if you're going to go protest. What are you talking about? Okay. What are you talking about? But then we also have to talk about the circumstances that are driving this, because at the end of the day, what is happening, this right here is the most important thing for anyone to pull away from this. Not about whether the shoot was bad, not about whether ICE is bad, not whether the protesters are bad, none of that. It is about the higher level thing that's happening here, which is how everyone is interpreting all of this and exactly where it is leading, and the fact that all of that is happening on purpose. There is not one part of this that is unpredictable to the people who are pulling the strings and making this happen. Not one. Not one part of this is by accident. This is all by design. As a result of that, it is absolutely critical for me to say the following. If you are a Democrat, I love you guys, man. You're American. If you're a conservative, I love all of you guys. Bottom line, if you're American, I promise you we're on the same team. I absolutely promise you that is the case. Okay. This is one of those videos that's like, it is a hard time to understand humanity the way that I do right now, because I feel so frantic about trying to get people to see what I see. So I'm actually going to recycle something that I used, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months ago in trying to communicate this to people. If you personally, whoever's watching this, I'm telling you right now, if you ever find yourself in trouble where you are getting robbed, if you've fallen down and you're injured, if you're in another country and someone is breaking your balls, if you are on my street and your car crashed or your bike fell over, I will help you. I will immediately help you. And I am not going to ask you whether you're a Democrat, Republican. I'm not going to ask you what your opinion on any other thing is. I'm just going to help. I promise you I'm going to help. If your kid's hurt, if your brother's hurt, if your sister's hurt, okay, I will go way out of my way to make sure that you get the help you need, that you're safe, and that your injury gets treated as fast as possible. This is not some kind of ploy. That is a fact, okay? And all I ask in return is just that you listen and try not to get upset, because the opposite is my intention. I am trying to bring us together and have everybody hear this incredibly important point that I am trying to make here. So yesterday I spent basically the entire video trying to avoid sharing my opinion on this shoot, but I will share it now. I think what we're looking at is a shoot that clearly happened as the result of frustrated officers who were definitely mad at this guy, and a situation where the officer who disarmed the guy negligently discharged the firearm into the ground after yelling gun, 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 at which point the other officers, all of which clearly are lacking some level of training, because why do you have 8 or 9 guys in that tight of a quarter, which basically ensures that you're not going to know what's going on around you? And so when the guy takes the gun out of his holster and then accidentally shoots it into the ground, assuming that's what happened, then all of them, I mean, what do they think is going on? How do they know? They have no idea what's going on, right? I thought yesterday it's possible one of them saw a hand reach for the firearm out of the holster. I literally came up with that on the spot, and that's why they took the shot. But at the end of the day, the guy who's being detained, if you watch the video, okay, in the incident that happened, yes, like he was antagonizing them. If you watch the full video, he was antagonizing them before that. They told him to get off the street, get off the street, whatever. There's nothing there that he was doing that would, elicit a deadly response. But they were annoyed for sure. But ultimately, all he did is he stepped in after these guys, like, really rough threw those women on the ground. Okay. Like, they chucked that girl. Okay. And so he stepped in and they immediately pepper sprayed him and he went down. And bottom line, you're in that much pain. Okay. Like, what you do with your body, as long as he did not reach for his firearm, which I did not see him do in any single frame that I saw, then guess what? You don't get to kill him. And you certainly don't get to have me defend you killing him if it is not crystal clear that he intended to grab his firearm out of his belt line, which he appears not to have been doing. So when the guy goes and he disarms him, first of all, I've heard that that's bad protocol, and then he shoots into the ground. These guys all shoot him, and that's what happened. Bad shoot. Okay. And Trump already fired the head of Border Patrol. Why do you think that is? You think Trump watched the video and he was like, no, it's good. It's good. Okay. He doesn't think it was a good shoot. He thinks it was a bad shoot. And that's obvious by the fact that he fired the Border Patrol guy, called Tim Walz, and is making deals about pulling people out. So now, for the first time, I've shared my opinion on the shoot, and I nonetheless stand by literally every single thing that I said in my video yesterday. So to people who thought that they were arguing with me that I was defending the shoot, hopefully this clarifies things, because I never defended it at all in the video yesterday. What I was doing is trying to explain to everybody exactly what is actually happening here and the different factors that led to this. Because if you think that this was an execution, I keep on hearing people going on television going, this was an execution, straight up. It's like an execution. You think that the ICE officers just picked him out randomly and they're like, let's execute this guy. The reason that I make a point to call out that exact language is for a very specific reason. And that is that you are part of the process, which is splitting people into two clans, which is trying to drive us to go to civil war. And we are that close that we can't just be ascribing like intent to things that are clearly not their intent. Okay. That's clearly not their intent. Now, to give additional backdrop to this, we have, you know what? I keep on filming things and then stopping and then going back and then doing whatever. I'm going to let someone else explain this to you really quick, at least what's going on, so then I can give you more commentary. Watch this a little bit from Liberal Hive Mind, and then we're going to look at some of Black Scout Survival's video where he's talking about how close we are to actual civil war, and that is what we're going to do, okay? This is what's actually going on the other side of the fence, though. If you're a Democrat and you're unaware of why this is happening on purpose. And this is not because there are hero Democrats. It's because you have billionaires and foreign nations who want us to fall. They want the United States to not exist. If you think I'm being hyperbolic or you think I'm exaggerating, you're wrong and you don't understand the game that is at play here at all.
I have infiltrated the organization's Signal group chat, groups all around Minneapolis, with the sole intention of tracking down federal agents and impeding/assaulting and obstructing them. Buckle up, all will be revealed. Each area of the city has a signal or several signals. Let's start with a screen recording of all the members of the South Side group to start. And then following this, we got another massive infiltration, this time from 0 Hour 1, and I urge you guys to follow his X account and see what's being released here and how the people organizing these signal groups are in full-on panic mode right now. But I just want to show you guys this particular post. What you see here is a database of sorts. Let's call it a spreadsheet for now. It's basically acting like one. These are the license plates that they're collecting. It says all plates with the plate ID, the reports, plate issuer, and then the plate status, their status, whether it's been identified as either highly suspected ICE or confirmed ICE. And this, of course, fits directly with what we've been watching and what we've...
Bottom line, these signal groups are literally, they exist because they are all tracking ICE. They're tracking their movements, they're tracking whatever, and they're telling people, then they're deploying these large groups who are going and then impeding, they're blowing whistles, they're blocking what they're doing. Go look up the video of them. They went to the ICE hotel and they just made noise all night so they couldn't sleep. They shattered the front window of their hotel. Okay, like I understand that most people are not paying this close of attention, and so you watch it and you see this dude get shot, and this is the thing that you're feeling emotional about, and so ICE are the bad guys. I get it. That's by design. And then the other side is watching these videos of these people harassing ICE and breaking all the windows, and in their mind, they're like, they should kill more of these guys. Okay, also by design. Okay, The point is to split us up and start to dehumanize the rest of the country that is not on our side. That is 100% by design. This is the entire point of what they're doing. And if you understand that what's actually happening right now is you have elected officials, government employees that are in these signal groups who are directing people at the state level to resist against federal agents who are in Minnesota to carry out what is federal law. They have a name for that, okay? They have a name for that. And now it's leading to violence. This is what civil war looks like when it starts. Do you not get, like, this is what civil war actually looks like. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to let Black Scout Survival talk, and then I'll stop him and kind of add in some color like we're having a conversation.
This weekend has been so crazy to me. I get why I've kind of, seen different than the group, right? It's because I'm conservative. I don't bend because of a man or a three-letter agency. Hell, I didn't know when we ever just blindly supported three-letter agencies. I never knew that. Ask Randy Weaver. But it's been telling. It's been telling, and what we're seeing is way darker than what's at the surface right now. Believe me, this is a boiling point. Okay, but let's talk about historical foundation first and why it even matters. The founding fathers weren't naive. They didn't assume government would always be benevolent. They actually assumed the opposite. That's why power was fragmented, authority was constrained, and armed citizens were expected, not feared. The Second Amendment was never about hunting. It was about deterrence against a state overreach. Not rebellion, technically, although you could argue, but resistance to normalization of force. Okay. The constitutional reality check. This is the test I want us to run honestly. Does constitutional rights disappear when the situation becomes uncomfortable? Because if the answer is yes, then the Constitution is a fair weather document. Carrying a firearm is not a crime. Recording law enforcement is not a crime. Questioning authority is not a crime. You don't lose constitutional protection because the state feels stressed.
Exactly. And what he's talking about is he's talking about Kash Patel saying that it's illegal to carry a firearm if you are protesting. What are you talking about? Oh, too many people got together and they're not allowed to carry firearms? That is not a thing. That's not a thing. So the point is there is bullshit coming from both sides. You got Kash over there who I don't know. Where would he think that he could say a thing like that? You can't carry a gun if you're protesting? Okay. Do you really think that we were going to be like, oh, all right, that's fine. Cool. So I guess we'll just accept that answer, right? But here's the thing. This is the more like the next level of analysis, which is what I'm looking at, is these people who are actually resisting the government right now, right? All the people who are getting together, they're following ICE around, they're harassing them. They are absolutely breaking the law in many cases. They're breaking the windows of the hotel. They're like using blowhorns and whistles to harass them constantly. They are breaking the law. But nonetheless, okay, the reason that those people believe that they are justified to do that, and it's not like a large leap from organizing and then following them around, harassing them nonstop. You only do that if you genuinely believe that what they're doing is they represent an evil entity that you should be resisting against, which, I certainly don't necessarily agree with. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. What I do know is that we have laws about immigration. This is not that complicated. We have laws about immigration. It's literally on the books. This is what you're allowed to do. This is what you need to do if you want to stay here past this amount of time. If you have this status, you're allowed to do this. If you have this status, you're allowed to do this. And literally, of course, we have to have enforcement of these laws, because what's the point of having a law if no one enforces it? Obvious. Okay? And when you have an entire apparatus of people who are responsible for the reason that there are tens of millions of people here illegally because they did it on purpose over the previous however long, and then they start controlling the airwaves and painting every single thing that this group who is there to enforce the law that they intentionally made not exist for however long, and then now they start painting it as these, oh my God, they're taking the intestines of 4-year-olds and they're barbecuing them just so that they can laugh in the face of the father who was tied up and crying the whole time. It's like, that's not true. None of that is true. That's not true what you just said. You think that they're coming up with this shit on accident? Like, you think that like these stories are the things that they do show and the things that they don't show, you think that's not by design? They're doing it on purpose to make this group over here believe that they are on the side of angels when they are behaving the way they're behaving, when they're shattering windows, when they're throwing things at eyes. Like, bottom line is, when I watch these videos, this is what I was saying. It's like, yeah, it's a bad shoot, dude. This guy, it's very unfortunate. He was carrying a firearm legally. I do that every day. Every time I leave the house, every day I have a firearm on me. And if someone chucked a woman on the ground in front of me, yeah, I would go help her for sure. And I would get in between myself and probably. I mean, if they just did it for no reason, for sure, I would at least go and try to help her up. The guy didn't even confront the ICE officer at that point. He just went to go help her up. And if you get pepper sprayed, you are likely to kind of go like this. That might look, I don't know what it might look like, but bottom line, this guy didn't do anything wrong, right? But the other side of the conversation is when you start looking at how these groups are treating the ICE agents. When I watch this stuff, it is literally impossible for me not to be thinking about what these guys are thinking and feeling in the reverse situation. Like, they are harassing them. They're baiting them. They're screaming in their face, you piece of shit. You piece of shit. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Look at this. Watch this. Okay. Here you go. This is what these guys are dealing with every single day because of the information that's being fed to these groups in these signal groups, which are full of, indignant people as well as genuine bad actors who are on top of all of it. Watch.
You guys suck so bad. You're gonna be in so much prison.
I'm going to the sidewalk right now. I'm going there right now.
I keep saying, go ahead. Keep saying it, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about with the phone. That's what I was talking about yesterday. That's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch. Is it legal? Of course it's legal. Of course it's legal. But what is the purpose of the phone in that, in that exchange? That is, yeah, you can't do nothing, buddy. You can't do nothing, buddy. And you're like, hey, would you do that to him if you guys were in a bar and there were no cameras, no phones, no nothing? Would you say that same thing to him? No. Why not? Be honest. Because he'd probably break my fucking face. It's like, yes, he would. Anyone would. And again, not illegal. Totally allowed legally to do what they're doing. But don't act like you don't understand when these guys, when they get into an actual altercation, are a little bit more aggressive than you might hope that they are if you're the one who's on the ground with a gun in your belt, dude. Okay? That's my point. Are they allowed to shoot him? Fuck no, they're not allowed to shoot him. And you certainly aren't allowed to use this as a reason that I can't carry a firearm. But unless you actually think that there's some kind of different species on the other side of these exchanges, if you don't understand why they're kicking the shit out of people, like that, if something goes down, then you're a fucking idiot. You don't understand people, or they're such bad people that you're just pretending you don't understand. Like, what do you think I'm going to do? Okay. Let's pretend you're a guy. Okay. What do you think is going to happen if you just walked up to me unannounced? Let's say I'm in Las Vegas at a bar and you just start poking my forehead. And I go, what the fuck are you doing? And you're like, nothing, man. Nothing. What are you doing? What are you doing? And you just poke. I go, you need to fucking stop doing that, dude. And you just keep poking. What do you think's going to happen? I'm going to fucking shatter your teeth, dude. Of course. 100%. Okay? Now, depending on who you are, you might just choke me to death after that. You might beat the fuck out of me, whatever, but I'm going to fucking break your teeth. That's for sure. If you are poking my forehead over and over. Okay. Now, how is that so predictable? Because look at me. What do I look like? Do I look like a person who's not going to react if you just keep poking me in the face over and over? Okay. These guys are cops. So like, again, they're not allowed to beat you up. They're not allowed to shoot you, of course. But if you keep on baiting them and harassing them and baiting them they're going to be much more likely to do that. So it just is what it is. Okay. Now, getting back to the more important thing that we're talking about here. Let's fast forward this a little bit over to here.
To any sort of protest. Does the president believe the Second Amendment rights remain in effect?
Oh shit! Here.
Although I saw administration officials claim he did. I saw people defending it in the comments. People will cheer for their tribe even if it's against reality. Let me just show you from my Instagram, a guy who commented. I showed the video of his firearm getting taken from his back, so he was no longer armed. And the gentleman said this. He said, "So?" question mark. Someone said, "So if he was disarmed and then shot, I think we will all agree that's bad." The original commenter said, "Was he a communist?"
There you go. This is what I'm talking about. Except this is exactly. This is my point. Okay? This is exactly my point. Right? I'm not talking about these guys in particular. I'm saying this captured in a microcosm. This is why they feel completely comfortable harassing ICE and cheering them not being able to sleep, cheering if they get hurt, cheering if something goes wrong. And then in reverse, they're like, oh, it was one of those leftist fucks. Like, good, dead. That's the actual purpose of all of this. That's the actual purpose of all of this. I care a lot about the guns, dude. Like, I care a lot about the guns. Don't fucking tell me I can't carry a firearm. All of that matters a lot. And yeah, I care a lot about a dude getting killed for no fucking reason. And I actually care a lot about the, like, people thinking that they could just press law enforcement and fuck with them and just hope that they won't do anything and then, you know, feel really awesome about themselves while they literally just do something they know would incite violence against them if they weren't holding their little trump card phone. Like, I want to slap that shit out of their hand and then slap them across the face every single time I see people do it. I can't fucking stand it. If you want to film people, fine, film them. But film them and then bait them, do something to them that you know they would whip your fucking ass if you weren't holding the phone every time. All I think is like, I mean, you know, listen, like, I'm not going around hoping to like fight people, but like, you know, when I see that happen to someone who's doing that, I definitely watch the video a lot. I like it. I enjoy it a lot. I'm not a perfect person, dude. I like seeing people who are fucking with people get exactly what they deserve every single time. I can't help it. But I dislike people having shit happen to them that are not asking for it just as much. But this dehumanization, man, this is exactly the point, dude. This is how it all falls apart. The state is resisting the federal government right now. And everybody's talking about the legality of a shooting. That's my point. Everyone is missing the fucking forest through the trees, or the trees through the forest, whatever the fuck that saying is. This is how countries fail. This is how countries fail. Okay? Jesus. I have no idea if I did even a moderately better job this time. But whatever. That's what I got. And we're done for this one.